Welcome everyone. Before I start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you get all our new summaries. And let's begin our film. The story begins with a blind man named Shang at a betting club. One of the people there challenged him to a bet for a large sum of money, trying to deceive him and take advantage of his blindness to steal his money. At first, the man bet everything he had and won. But the strange thing was that blind Shang exposed his cheating and revealed it in front of everyone. Then, the club's owner appeared and apologized for what happened. Shang said he would never bet there again, took the huge amount of money he had won, and went on his way. Shortly after, Shang was walking through the streets in the rain, but he was surprised by the owner of the betting club, along with a group of thugs. The despicable club owner tried to exploit Shang's blindness to steal his money. And here, a big surprise happens. Blind Shang was able to grab the thugs and finish them off one by one with lightning speed, to the point that the club owner froze in place from fear. After that, the events take us to a nearby village. There, we meet a young girl named Nian. Nian was happily playing with the children and preparing the house courtyard because it was her wedding day. She was getting married soon, but coincidentally, Shang passed by her. When he smelled the aroma of wine, he asked Nian to buy some for him. However, she told him it was her wedding day and offered him some for free, hosting him with respect. After Shang sat down to rest, he tried to give Nian money for the wine, but she refused. Not only that, but she also fed his horse. Then, Nian was surprised by a bag containing a moving person. Shang told her not to worry, as it was an escaped criminal he was going to hand over to the police for a reward. At that moment, the groom, Nian's husband-to-be, finally arrived. Everyone gathered at the wedding and were celebrating joyfully. But suddenly, a young man appeared, and everyone stopped celebrating. This young man was Nian's older brother, known for his ferocity and tremendous strength. Nian's brother told the groom that he must take care of his sister, or else he would finish him. The groom was terrified, and everyone fled the wedding, fearing for their lives. Then, Nian's brother noticed Shang drinking wine, and was surprised that he wasn't afraid of him, so he tried to threaten him. But Shang said he didn't want any trouble, took himself away, and left. After that, he went to his horse and sat beside it to sleep and rest. At night, Shang woke up smelling blood coming from Nian's house. He went to check on her, but was surprised to find the place completely destroyed. He noticed that her brother had been killed, so he began searching everywhere for any survivor. When he entered the house, he was surprised to find Nian hiding, trembling in extreme fear. And here, the events take us back 4 hours, when Shang was sleeping. The despicable betting club owner stormed the wedding because Nian's brother owed him a large sum of money. So, he attacked him and tied him up. At first, Nian's brother said he had no money. When one of the criminals tried to assault his sister, he became furious and fiercely fought them all, using his incredible swordsmanship skills. However, he was surprised by a powerful fighter armed with sharp hooks, who embedded them into his body and pinned him in place. Meanwhile, the despicable betting club owner kept laughing and finished him off with an arrow to the chest. As soon as Shang learned what had happened, he apologized to Nian and asked her to calm down and not be afraid. After that, he handed over the criminal he had with him to the police and reported what had happened. They arrived in seconds to inspect the crime scene. As soon as the police chief arrived and saw the place, he noticed the arrow that had killed Nian's brother and recognized it as belonging to the betting club owner. The police chief felt afraid because he was from the Yuan family, the most powerful family in China. He asked Nian to let go of her brother's right and not speak about what happened. Of course, Nian got angry and said that whoever killed her brother must die, and she set off on her way. But the despicable police chief ordered his followers to seize her because he worked with the Yuan family and had to defend them. As the police chief and his followers were taking Nian to prison, Shang heard her voice from the middle of the street as she was walking with the soldiers. When he asked her what was happening, the police chief yelled at him and told him to mind his own business. Shang got angry and moved with incredible speed, starting to take out the officer's followers one by one to free Nian from him. Indeed, Shang succeeded, and the police chief froze in place from terror. As for Shang, he decided to leave this village and continue on his journey, but Nian begged him to let her travel with him, because he was the only one who could avenge her brother against the Yuan family. After much insistence from her, Shang agreed, and they traveled together on his horse. Shang and Nian arrived at a village called Luhan. They sat down to rest and eat together. Here, Nian thanked Shang for being the only one who defended her and decided to restore her right. Shang asked her to rest and stroll around the village to calm her nerves. Afterwards, he went to meet Mei Mei, a musician who had known Shang for a long time, so he went to listen to her play. After he rested and treated his wounds, he was heading back when he was surprised by a severely injured man coming from the market, saying that someone from the Yuan family had attacked a poor poor girl and kidnapped her in front of everyone. Shang got angry and realized that the kidnapped girl was Nian. Of course, Shang asked the villagers and spent the whole day searching until he reached an abandoned room. There, he was surprised by the hook-wielding fighter who had killed Nian's brother. Although Shang is blind and cannot see, he uses his sense of hearing and smell to locate his enemies. In the end, he caught the hook fighter off guard and knocked him unconscious. Afterwards, he went to rescue Nian and discovered that she was severely injured because the criminals had tortured her for refusing to marry their leader. From there, Shang got Nian out of the cage and brought her back to Mei Mei's house to treat her wounds. But Mei Mei kept arguing with him, asking why he was risking his life for Nian. Shang said that he was the only one who could restore her right, because if he left her alone, she might commit suicide from grief over her brother. The next day, Nian woke up from her coma. Shang asked Mei to take her and flee the village because the criminals would start looking for them. Afterwards, he set out for revenge. He managed to capture the despicable betting club owner and tortured him, asking why he had attacked Nian and her brother. The club owner said he worked for General Gao, a wealthy young man from the Yuan family, and that he had done this from the beginning because he wanted to marry Nian, and she refused him. Shang felt angry, tied a wire around his neck, and attached it to the door so that anyone entering the place would kill him in seconds. When General Gao learned from his followers that Shang had rescued Nian from the kidnapping and eliminated his strongest fighter, he ordered them to turn the whole village upside down until they reached him by any means. Not only that, but he was also looking for the betting club owner. However, when he opened the door, he discovered that he had fallen into Shang's trap and killed his dear friend with his own hands. Of course, Gao became extremely furious and was about to explode with rage, but unfortunately, his soldiers managed to capture Mei, who sacrificed her life to save Nian. At first, Gao kept torturing her and demanded that she tell him Shang's location. Mei said she would never betray him because he had fought alongside her in the army before losing his sight and had sacrificed his life for her. Meanwhile, Shang continued searching for Gao everywhere and didn't know that he had captured Mei. However, he reached one of his strongholds and asked about him. His followers told him he wasn't there. Of course, Shang didn't believe them and mercilessly attacked them until he searched the entire place and learned that Gao was in another area. So, he decided to return to the village again. As soon as he arrived, he discovered that Mei had been killed by Gao, and Nian said that she had distracted the criminals to help her escape. Shang felt deep sorrow because he loved her. He sat reflecting, preparing for the final battle. As for Gao, he gathered his strongest fighters and prepared them for the battle because they would be fighting Blind Shang, the greatest swordsman in all of China. Indeed, Shang prepared himself and stormed the Yuan family's stronghold to take revenge on Gao. As soon as he arrived, he was surprised to find a whole army of warriors present in the courtyard, ready to fight him. Meanwhile, the treacherous Gao fled inside the house. And here, Shang began fighting the Yuan family. Strangely, he felt no fear or awe towards them and dove into their midst like a lion, even though they outnumbered him. Shang fought with unparalleled bravery and defeated the fighters mercilessly. Not only that, but he used a secret technique and set his sword on fire, destroying everything in his path, and entered the house where Gao was hiding. At that moment, Gao's assistant moved with incredible lightness so that Shang wouldn't hear her and tried to catch him off guard, but he managed to grab her at the last moment. Then, the treacherous Gao appeared. He was skilled with arrows and killed his own assistant with his own hand in an attempt to hit Shang and weaken him. Unfortunately, Gao exploited Shang's blindness and shot him with arrows. Shang couldn't protect himself because Gao's strikes were too fast. In the end, Shang fell to the ground from his injuries and couldn't stand. Gao approached him to finish him off, but Shang caught him off guard, pulled the sword from under his feet, and attacked him fiercely until he completely destroyed him in the end. Thus, Shang won the battle and avenged Nian. Afterwards, he informed her of what had happened and let her know that he had restored her right and the right of her deceased brother. She felt great happiness.
And that concludes today's film. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell icon to stay updated. Share your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned for the next summary. Goodbye.